one to pick. I think the team that can hold the ball for the longest amount of time and capitalise on their field position, because of the fact that's already been mentioned, there's no hookers on the bench. Both hookers, Clark and Riddell, are going to have to play long minutes, so that's going to mean that they don't want to do a huge amount of defensive workload. But for me, I think Warrington are just going to shade it.
What do you think, Robbie?
Well, I'm attending the other direction because I think Warrington have been a little less consistent than what Wigan have. And I think Wigan come into some great form. They've got some players there that know how to get along with the job, get the job done, and probably very hungry as well. So I'm going to tend towards Wigan in this one.
Well, there they are. Wigan on the right, Warrington on the left. Let's hand you up to our commentary team. Jonathan Davis has gone upstairs to join Dave Woods.
Thanks, Claire. They've had to squeeze them into the Stobart Stadium for this one. Big crowd, big noise, big expectations on both parts. Either side will tell you that success is overdue, and the line today between the ultimate high and misery could be absolutely minimal. Shorter Lachlan back for injury from Wigan today. Those Wigan in the middle of Warrington and Wigan. It's a thrillingly unpredictable contest that lies ahead of us for 80 minutes. The colour of adrenaline is cherry and white and primrose and blue. It's a drop by Prescott, but it has gone backwards. The referee says that might have been the first big mistake of the day, but Wigan get away with it, and they will be mighty relieved to have the ball for another 5 tackles here, Jonathan.
They will, yes. They were very lucky that the ball could have gone anywhere, but it's perfect conditions, magnificent atmosphere. What a game in store. As everyone has said, it's going to be a very, very tight game.
Here's Bailey looking for the offload. Just gave Matt King a sniff of an opportunity there. Wigan are living dangerously in these opening exchanges. In fact, they've lost it. They've lost it. And it's a chance for Monaghan. Well, the referee was still in the Warrington line. Even he hadn't picked up there that Warrington had possession. But an early opportunity here. Not the best of passes. Breer's happy to wrap it up. We are seeing Challenge Cup nerves.
Yeah, you just got to settle it down a little bit now. Take it in. Get field position.
Westwood. Those nerves at their absolute rawest at the moment.
Hold. Go.
Couple of tackles to come here. Monaghan runs out from dummy half. In by Carvel. He and Morley, of course, were such heroes in Warrington's quarter-final win against Hull Kingston Rovers. Tackle 6, Breers, first boot of the day. High and spinning. Gleeson looking to get underneath it. Anderson was there too. It's been dropped by Amos Roberts. It's 6 more tackles for Warrington, or should be from the scrum.
I tell you what, you'll see a lot of that today. The kicking game could be key offensively. They were lucky, Amos Roberts, because if he'd have caught that, he was in the clear, and this guy can run a bit. But good early pressure for Warrington. Made the first mistake, Wigan.
Well, it is Warrington who are settling the better. Clark feeding that as scrum half. It's wide towards Bridge. Can't find a way through quite, but Warrington are set fair here. 5 tackles to come, 10 yards away. Driven in, this time by Harrison. One of the relative youngsters on the pitch, although he is making his 52nd appearance today for Warrington. Monaghan again, Breers with a juggle, keeps hold of it, and almost as a result of that mistake, almost slides in. Monaghan again, Morley. It's tough stuff. And it's really intense on that Wigan line at the moment. Monaghan again, little ball back in the inside. Ducked by Breers, went for the power play. Here comes tackle 6. The last of the set, Monaghan goes wide. Westwood with a step! And Ben Westwood scores the game's first try with 2 minutes and 44 seconds play.
Well, let's see what happens here. There wasn't a kick on the card in the last play because Breers was caught in the last tackle, so they had to go through the hands. Was there a block on Lulai? This is what we're waiting for.
Well, that's what the referee's gone for. He's gone for a video referee here. What do you reckon, Jonathan?
No block. No block for me. Let's have a look where he was when he took the ball. No, I think that's fine. Lulai's enough time to go on the tackle. He misses the tackle. Maybe there's a block on Cameron Phillips. That's what you can look at, is Cameron Phillips. Is he blocked out? Well, the block is there on Cameron Phelps, I think.
Well, Bridge is the man who came in on the dummy run.
Yeah, he held Phelps away, so no try, I think.
Phil Bentham is the video referee. He's going to break somebody's hearts here. It is no try. It'll be a penalty for Wigan. That is such a fine line, isn't it?
Well, that is a fine. You know, I think. Let's have a look. 21. Does he run the block? Yes, he steps inside. There's a miss. Again, only one man makes the call there, and that is, you know, the television referee.
Well, did Westwood have the ball beyond the player, as it were? He didn't run behind him, but he had it beyond the player. That's another question for the debate as well. Interestingly, Tony Smith last week was saying, the Warrington coach, whether video referees should actually be scrapped, and back to the judgment of the referee on the pitch.
Yeah, well,
and I don't suppose his support of the video referee will have grown any as a result of that.
I think I would have given that myself. Dave?
Well, it's an escape for Wigan, not only because they were under the risk of conceding a try, but they were under very heavy pressure in those early minutes as well. It remains 0-0.
And that will have great offload.
Little step away by Phelps, looking to twist away.
That would have given Warrington Wolves great confidence, because the Wigan defence in the last couple of weeks have been fantastic.
Luluai, out it goes to Harrison Hansen, steps back on the inside again. 35 yards out, you can see it's Luluai who comes on.
Oh.
O'Loughlin with a kick to the corner. It's leapt by Roberts and taken superbly well, Amos Roberts, but it was the sixth tackle and remains so some desperate handling here from Wigan. Tompkins, he's escaped from one, little kick back on the inside, the bounce, it's anybody's ball, claims for obstruction against Westwood. Warrington come up with it, and a chance to bring it clear with Bridge again.
Well, that's a definite advantage on both wings for Wigan. Amos Roberts is superb in the air, and of course we know Pat Richards, very tall, both very good wingers, chasing the high kicks.
Well, it's absolutely exhausting stuff at the moment for both these sides, with only 5 minutes played. Here's Clark, looking down this blind side. King couldn't keep hold of it. Roberts was up there quickly. Coley collects it for Wigan, and they are back in possession on the halfway line again. Here's Roberts. Harrison went after him and missed him. Roberts gets it to Carmont. Carmont to Luluai. Steps inside the attempted tackle of Breers, but the cavalry was there. Here's Riddell. Now Prescott, shouldering in, and it's a good platform we're going to get in here. Riddell again at dummy half. This is Luluai, behind the line to O'Loughlin. It's a long one out to Richards. Richards has an obstruction on Carmont. There's a foot in touch.
Definite penalty. Definite penalty. And whether it's a penalty try.
Phil, just have a look at the Warrington player putting the man back. We've got a touch decision, but I think a Warrington man.
I tell you what, there is a definite obstruction here, and the decision will be crucial.
Well, the referee asking whether it should be a penalty try as well here.
Just keep an eye on the inside centre. Well, this is all about ifs and buts. He's definitely in touch. It's definitely a penalty. Just watch number 4.
Take him away. Go away.
Definite obstruction. Does he score? Does he take the pass? Is the pass? It's a definite penalty. He would have given that pass if he wasn't held back by Morley.
I want a word with the players.
Well, there you see the foot on the line, so there's absolutely no doubt it is not a try.
Oh no, definitely in touch.
Steve Ganson has already given the penalty.
I think he reacted angrily. I think Cameron.
Okay, I officiate the game. You're in possession of the ball, attacking. I see a player pull back. Hang on, play advantage. If you get a penalty and then score, that's no good. But I'm not being approached all afternoon about this result. Okay.
Steve Ganson snapping his authority onto it. What he was looking for there was to see if there was a try. Having already given the penalty, he was concerned about the Wigan players complaining to him. It was Adrian Morley actually who was pulling on George Carmont, who was given this penalty away. 6 from here to hammer this Warrington line. How quickly the mood of a match can change. Coley's the first man to drive it forward. 5 yards out.
No.
Picked up by Riddell, spun away to Tompkins, inside to Bailey, who beats 3 on his way. Underneath the sticks, Phil Bailey's over. Those in cherry and white are rejoicing. It is Wigan who draw first blood. No doubts this time. And Phil Bailey, the man back from injury, is the man who scores.
Well, it's easy running. Just watch. I think it's Monaghan who picks the wrong man. There's a dummy run there. There he is. Monaghan just drifts out wide. Comes on the inside ball. Had to take him. Just watch. There's one dummy runner. There's nothing on really. There's a dummy runner going on the back. But Bailey just strides through so easily.
Well, just a short time ago, it looked as though Warrington had scored the first try of the game. Disallowed.
What were you saying?
A very close call from the video referee. But Wigan go to the other end and they plant their intentions on the contest. And a chance for Richards to turn the 4 into 6 here. He's a prolific goal kicker, is Pat Richards. And he doesn't miss many from that kind of distance and range. Over it goes, and it is Wigan who lead now by 6 points to 0.
We just watch what happens. It's the runner that goes round the back. We stop it there. There's the guy that should have took him off his eye off the ball. The angle came running through. Monaghan has just taken the wrong man. And Bailey has just hit the gap. It's far too easy.
It's a top game. It's as we expected. Chances both ends, drama at both ends, and lots of controversy too. As Adrian Morley runs in with a blocking challenge and with the help of Harrison and Clark, and push press got back a yard or two. Here's Coley now, taking up the fight.
Move!
Big set for both sides here. Warrington looking to pin Wigan back deep inside their own half. Wigan looking to claw their way back downfield if they can. Re-establish position. Riddell. Here's Coley once more. Just trying to get the arms free, but wrestled down.
Yeah, there's been many offloads, and the one thing, you know, both sides ooze confidence at the moment.
Out to Tompkins. Here's tackle 5, but Wigan will kick early. It was from within the 40. It's not going to test the touchline though. It's collected by Richard Mathers, who bravely runs back at that chasing pack of Wigan players. 5 of them were there. Mathers, of course, started this season as a Wigan player. Effectively swapped with Martin Gleeson, who went from Warrington to Wigan.
Move!
Hicks to his feet. Here's Monaghan. Harrison.
4! Move!
A couple of tackles still left to play in this set. It's going to be a drive forward again by the big man Adrian Morley.
5! Move! Hold!
Tackle 6 is the next, so Brearsley's boot will be called into action. We've not seen an awful lot of him so far, but it is early days.
Onside.
And taken easily on the bounce by Phelps.
Defence.
Decent chase.
Great hits going in early on.
First! Move!
Here's Roberts. Wigan used to own this competition, of course.
Move!
88 to 95, they won it 8 times in succession. They haven't won it though since 2002 when they beat St Helens at Murrayfield. Warrington haven't won it since 1974, their last final appearance back in 1990, so they will feel they are due an appearance at Wembley much more than Wigan are, but at the moment they trail. Tackle 6 will be the next. It's Riddell again who's at dummy half. Spun away to Sam Tompkins, a little measured kick over the top. King went up but beaten in the air, thrown back on the inside again by Amos Roberts. So close to sticking, and it's another penalty for Wigan.
I tell you what, he's so good in the air, isn't he, Amos Roberts? King must be about half a foot taller than him, but he jumps up. He's got great strength, gets good height in a jump, and that'll be a big tactic, I think, today for Wigan.
Well, the Warrington players caught offside there as the ball rolled towards them. That's why this penalty has been given, and
I think they know as well how close this game could be, Dave, because usually you would take, you know, the kick to touch, play the set, but Pat Richards has been called up to bang this over.
Well, this is a big call, isn't it? I mean, this is a big call because, as you say, kick to touch and six drives to that Warrington line and maybe set up a repeat.
I tell you why, though, I think they've got so much confidence in the defence at the moment. And they're thinking, well, you know, let Warrington try and score 2 tries against us, you know. The defence has been awesome in the last couple of weeks, Wigan.
The alternative is, of course, that if Richards kicks this, the gap is out to 8 points, which means that Warrington have to score twice now to get themselves into the lead. 2 out of 2 for Pat Richards. And Wigan lead now by 8 points to 0. It's a wonderful side, isn't it? Full ground.
It's certainly changed, this ground, over the years. It's a fantastic stadium now, all the facilities.
Tony Smith, I have 1 or 2 moments to ponder from those opening 12 minutes or so. Hasn't gone his side's way. Let's hear from Tanya, who's down on the touchline. Tanya.
Good, mate.
Thanks, Dave. I've got Lee Mossop with me from Wigan Warriors. How do you feel the game's going? You'll be pleased from your side?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, both sides started well, but our forwards have really set a platform for our backs, and as you can see, we've got the early points.
Slightly nervy in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, definitely. There was a couple of sloppy errors, but I mean, it's always going to be like that, semi-final. But like I say, if we carry on completing our sets, then we'll have a good go at winning.
Thanks very much, Lee.
Thank you.
The possession is being dominated by Wigan at the moment. Here's Tompkins.
5!
And again, the Wigan pack are definitely getting better yardage. They're making the kicking game easy.
Lachlan puts it up, Mathers keeps an eye on it, and then ear out for the thunder of hooves that was crashing down on him. Offside again.
He was offside.
He's in front of the
I think
kicker, mate.
Prescott was in front of the kicker. Just wait for him to catch it.
Penalty has given Warrington good position here on the halfway line. They start their set of 6 now. Here's Louis Anderson.
First! Move! Hold!
Brother Villing is on the bench today. It's Monaghan from dummy half. Mathers again, just thought he sort of sniffed an opportunity there, tried to get through, but he was collared literally by Andy Coley. Monaghan now from dummy half. Here's Carvel. He really has had an impressive season this year, Gareth Carvel.
Hold!
He and Morley have been the bedrock for Warrington. Breers up to the line, keeps them guessing. Harrison now. Decent footwork by him, but chopped down. It's Breers. Clark ran flat, back towards Mathers. Mathers throws it wide to King, who's closed in quickly by Roberts. And a good reaction from the Wigan defence again, made sure that King couldn't get his arms free. And here comes tackle 6. Breers once more, sliding it through, looking for the upright, looking to bounce it, causing confusion, and did so, but somehow Phelps escapes with it for Wigan. It's a moment of fortune for those in cherry and white.
Well, he was aiming for the post and hit it. Fortunate, but Phelps was superb. At the moment, they're very, very lethargic and lateral, and the Wigan defence are just moving across, and it's comfortable for them so far. They'll have to try something different, Warrington. They want to break this defence down.
They're making all the metres, as you just saw. Wigan are dominating for the moment. Bailey asked a lot with that pass. Roberts has knocked on.
Yeah, good tackle though. Read the play very well. Came in. They created the overlap on the short side. The overlap was there, but great defence. There he was, Amos Roberts on the outside. Riley had to come in. This is the kick. Perfect execution. That could have gone anywhere.
Okay,
Phelps reacts very quickly. Get the ball away.
Here's Breers again now. Little ball dropped on the inside for Mathers. It was an intentional kick that as well against the post.
It was.
Go.
Breers again. Back towards Westwood.
2.
He's been another who's been a very constant performer this year. Monaghan from dummy half with a dummy.
Tackle, Prescott.
Crunch.
Move!
Clark from dummy half. That close. Breers again now. Has a look to the corner. Maybe thought about the kick. Maybe thought about the pass. In the end, tried to take them on with his dancing feet, but couldn't find a way through. It's with Morley. Not really in his stride when he collects it. So collapses in a heap. Tackle 6 coming next again. Breers with a short pass. Harrison with the offload. Breers spins it away. Hits Tompkins. It will be all on. The referee said Wigan played at that. There's controversy.
I think he did. He had to come in for it. Great play by Tompkins. Read the play very well.
Monaghan was off quickly. Here comes Clark again now. Wigan just stepping in front of the line there maybe as Carmel drives it in. You don't get much closer without getting the ball down.
Got to go left side here. They've gone right.
So they go the other way. Mathers now throws it wide. Ooh. Richards was a fingernail away from 90 yards of glory.
They're just panicking now, Warrington. They're going not to the ball players on the last play. This is the overlap. There it's created. Had to make that. Tompkins does make it, stops the try. But just there we go again. They should have gone the left-hand side. That is an all or nothing. Got away with it pass.
If he'd have caught that, you would have put your money on 14-0.
He was in, yeah, he was in.
Here it's picked up by Harrison from the base of the scrum. Scurrying into position, central, so they have options right and left now to keep Wigan guessing. It goes left to Clark. Clark along the way. Bridge with a little dummy onto King, and King is forcing his way in. Has he got that down?
That's why they bought him, really. Is the grounding, is he grounded the ball? On his reaction, he thinks he has.
Well, it's usually the clue, isn't it? The body language of the players themselves. What will the camera angles tell us here? Oh, yes.
Try, definite. Yes. There's been a lot of question marks over this guy's performances, but one thing he does do, he can score tries. He's done it for Melbourne Storm, he's done it for Australia, and I think he's done it there for Warrington. Good strength in the turn, you've got to give that on the first angle.
It's another one for the video referee Phil Bentham to scrutinise frame by frame. But
that's the one that gives it, isn't it? That is the one.
Decision made. Phil Bentham presses the button to tell us his decision, and it is try for Warrington. Matt King, a bundle of energy, and he has put Warrington right back in the contest.
Good pressure. Just watch it go left. Good patience. Mathers just goes in, two men in the tackle. Tompkins and Amos, too powerful, too big. Good try.
Big kick here, Chris Bridge. They're all big kicks in Challenge Cup semi-finals. Chris Bridge is taking this with a minimum of fuss, a minimum of backlift, and over it goes. Super kick. 8 points to 6 now, the scoreline. We're back to within 2 points of each other. Tony Smith will be a little more relaxed about the situation now.
This is all about, you know, a mismatch. Short ball, Tompkins, Amos comes in to help him. Amos Roberts, but he's just too big.
Matt King after 18 minutes.
2 changes, look, big changes. Wigan Warriors.
Okay.
Well, it's like the West Indies of the old days, isn't it? You take 2 fast bowlers off, you put 2 more fearsome fast bowlers on, and Wigan have done that in terms of props. Fielden and Paliacina, who for many clubs would be the starting props, but the impact they make off the bench could be huge. But they won't want them defending for too long.
Move!
Morley and Carvel are still on, and here comes Monaghan, half slips through, Harrison in support. Wigan's defence recovers quickly and had to do, but Harrison's still driving forward here.
Move!
Big burst. Here comes Mathers. He's trying to size them up.
Again, and Paliacina, they're pointing at him.
Move!
2 tackles left. Monaghan's away, the man who started it all. Clark, Breers, quick hands, Westwood in the centres at the moment. Oh, it's a wonderful ball away, but Hicks can do little with it. Last tackle. Here's Breers again. Scruffs it across the pitch. King went up, so too did Roberts. It's Louis Anderson! Hang on, don't shout too loud yet.
Make sure there's no interference on the capture.
Steve Ganson wants absolute clarity on this before he gives it. Was there a knock-on? Was there interference?
It's such a difficult tactic, you know, to nullify the kick. Definitely all onside. That's the first thing.
Pat!
Well, is there interference? Let's have a look at this. No, definitely no interference. They both went for the ball. Amos Roberts, usually so very good in the air. Just watch. There's no real contact there, is there, by Matt King?
And he's looking for the ball. The eyes have it, don't they?
That's got to be a try now. Great chase by Anderson. Try.
Well, we have to be absolutely sure with the grounding as well.
And that's it.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. As I said, you know, it's such a difficult tactic to nullify, isn't it? You know, if the kick is on the button, it's everyone free for all.
Here we go. Here we go. It is a try, as we suspected. And how quickly this game has changed. 10 points to 8 now, Warrington lead with a kick to come. Louis Anderson, the try scorer. Bridge again with a chance to add the 2 here. Remember him kicking exceptionally well against Hull Kingston Rovers in that quarter-final.
Good going, boys. Good.
Here he goes, little chip over. Little 8-iron, comfortably between the sticks. 2 out of 2 for him. It's 8 points Wigan, 12 Warrington.
And this is the break. Great run. Didn't panic, kept the ball. Harrison, and this was the kick. Pinpoint kick. Matt King is up there. And forcing for Roberts. Try.
And you know it is a cliche, but semi-finals on such small matters. You know, had Pat Richards caught that ball, Wigan are away, big lead. Instead, they're behind.
Exactly. And really, the impact of Palestina and Fielder, nothing's happened purely because they haven't had the ball, have they? And Bailey's gone down. Something seriously's happened to him.
Big problem there for Phil Bailey. Penalty here for Warrington as well. The whole mood has changed. The whole context of the game has changed.
I think Bailey's twisted his ankle. Don't know what happened. Off the ball, just twisted his ankle. They've got to make a change very quickly here. They're a man short. Tompkins is on the touchline.
And Warrington are in their pomp here. Carvel with a drive. So within 18 yards of that Wigan line again. They've scored 2 in quick succession. They're hungry for a third here. It's going to be a drive by Adrian Morley.
Move!
I don't think Bailey's coming back.
Monaghan skipping away again. Breers is flat to Monaghan once more. The old 1-2, sucking in the defenders. Westwood can see the options over the top. Here's Gleeson back against the thread of the defence if he could, but he couldn't. So back it comes to the middle, and Carvel carrying it one-handed. Wants to get the offload away. Swamped around by Wigan defenders.
So they got them rattled with the runarounds.
Desperate stuff at the moment for this Wigan defence. Under so much pressure. Breers with a dummy! Lee Breers! He found a way through sheer determination.
He's had a few goals. Just a show and go. They're on a high, they're on a roll.
Well, so often over his career, Lee Breers has been the bridesmaid, inspired St Helens in '97 to a Challenge Cup final. Man of the match in the semi, but didn't make it for the final.
Again, Riddell goes low, 2 men to tackle. Good body position. Very good try. Show and go try.
There we go, as a kick. So 18 points to 8, Warrington lead now. Well, Phil Bailey looks as though he's played his part last here.
Yeah, just watch him, he just falls. He goes forward and then turns his ankle and forces the crowd. Very unlucky for Wigan and for Bailey. So sad.
Well, very tense moments now for Brian Noble. A few calculations going on inside his head, no doubt. lost a key player and lost an interchange option as well, if they lose a player for the rest of the game. Big kick downfield is going to be patched and offered on to Morley, who drives it in and hits the two Wigan props. Let's hear from Tanya on the touchline.
Move! Hold! Go!
Ben Harrison also went off for Warrington. He's got a dead leg. He's also headed straight for the dressing room. Let's hear from Mickey Hyman, the Warrington Wolves hooker, who's out injured. You've been punching the air, going well.
Yeah, it's tough to watch in these games, you know, especially semi-finals. It's a massive game, but I thought it was a nervy start by both teams. Couple of drop ball and that, couple of penalties, but Wigan got into the game. Then I think the try Wigan scored, it kicked us into life a little bit, and we've got on top for this last 5 to 10 minutes. So hopefully we can get a strong finish to the half and may it continue.
Six tackle here, they were trying to force it there.
Yeah, no, I tell you, it's been very, very interesting is to watch Monaghan. As soon as Palestina come on, he has targeted Palestina Monaghan, and he has been instrumental in the last 10 minutes. To go forward, he's just picked him out and run at him. Great tackle.
Morley on fielder. Talk about stamping your authority on the game. Palestina drives it in and meets a mob. Bang!
Great hit.
Put a few on his backside over the years, hasn't he, Adrian Morley?
Yeah.
Lulai picks up a dummy half and picks up and scampers off, and Clark has him. Down he goes. A couple of tackles left here. Sam Tompkins, Fielden looking for a bit more. Can't find Clark, can't find Morley, I'm afraid. It's Westwood who made the tackle. Here comes Tompkins. High and spinning. It's a good kick, but Richards can't quite get that under control, and he was offside anyway.
Yeah.
Richards offside.
It's a terrific kick.
Very, very good game.
Diaz puts the ball out of play for a tap restart 30 yards from his own line. It's interesting what you're saying there about Monaghan and Palestina. Palestina with ball in hand is such a destructive force, isn't he? But he does have a reputation of tiring quickly in a game.
There they go. Just watch him now. They'll try. Just keep an eye on him. They don't need to do that now, Warrington.
Or the offload.
No, they're in the ascendancy. No miracle balls. A good gear field position.
Monaghan using Morley as a foil.
Move!
Rushing up back into position again here. 32 yards away. Clark away. Here's Mathers. Too many Cherry and White to risk the pass.
And again, just look who makes a tackle. Who's he run that, look?
Monaghan. Palestina couldn't get out of the way. Monaghan takes it on again.
He's been brilliant, Monaghan, I tell you.
Move!
Since he's come on Palestina, he's just ruined him.
Here's Breers. Chips it high to the corner again. There would have been hearts in mouths, but it was off a Warrington hand last, so it will be a tap back on the 20.
And that's it, that's, you know, possession and territory now, Warrington.
First.
And they've put the points on the board as well, took all the advantage.
Phil Bailey, a fairly forlorn figure in that dressing room. Mark Riddell in there too, so they're missing two real key figures on the pitch at the moment, Wigan. Luluai again, operating in that dummy half position in the absence of Riddell. He was key for New Zealand in their World Cup win last year against the Australians. Here comes Joel Tompkins now. 5 gone, 30 out, and they're fairly wide to this right-hand side, so a big acreage of pitch in which to plant this kick again. Up it goes. Richards ran into a Warrington player. There are cries for obstruction. The referee didn't see it that way, and here comes Hicks bringing it free. And Warrington back to the 30 before the first tackle, and then the second before the ball was played, and the penalty goes Warrington's way.
Very clever obstruction, Breers on Pat Richards. Not so clever, that one. And again, field position. And you can see now, all the impetus. Just watch Breers. Doesn't get away, just stands there. Well, could have given that as obstruction, really.
Well, you don't have to move, do you?
Yeah,
if someone runs into you, that's their fault.
I think he stepped into him, though.
Yeah, I think there might have been a cheeky back step.
cheeky.
Here's Clark. Morley again. Flat again onto that ball.
Yeah, look who's there now. Just watch where they go.
Palestina standing just behind the line.
There we are, look.
He's targeted again there. Louis Anderson running at him.
He's there again, you see what happens?
Clark. Paliacina's chasing shadows just at the moment, as out it goes to Briers. There's an overlap working here. Westwood ran it direct on the angle. Decent defence by Wigan for the most part here. Briers, back it goes, and over the line! Mike Cooper!
Briers, all of a sudden, has stepped up to the plate and is orchestrating things. Monaghan and Briers are now running the show.
Well, from the depths of despair, Warrington have lifted themselves to the absolute heights here. Mike Cooper, their 4th try. 32 games, all 32 have been off the bench. But that will be a big moment in that young player's career.
Great moment. Paliacina again. Just watch who's there. The dummy runner comes in, holds Paliacina, try.
And again, it's an unfussed and unelaborate kick that is very effective, that makes it 24 points to 8 now for the Warrington Wolves. It is very early to come out with big statements, but they are working themselves into a winning position here, Warrington.
Just watch this. Monaghan goes on the dummy run and Paliacina chases him, which exposes really that one defender, and Cooper just throws into it.
10 minutes to half-time, and Warrington in control, 24 points to 8. It's going to take a massive response now for Wigan to get back into this cup tie.
Fellas! Move! Hold! Go!
He'll search down that blind side.
2!
Here's Tanya on the touchline again. Tanya.
Go, mate.
Dave, Phil Bailey will not be back. He's done his Achilles. He definitely won't be back. Mark Riddell has taken a bad knock on the wrist, but they do think he will return.
And they'll need him. They will need him. How do they get out of this hole, Jonathan? How do Wigan dig themselves back?
Well, first thing is possession. They've got to have possession. At the moment, they've been starved of possession. And they've just hit a rich vein of form, Warrington Wolves. And Monaghan and Briers are just ridden on the back of the forwards.
Tackle 6. Briers again, measured it, looks for the obstruction. Oh, it slipped past Phelps. And there's a bit of a weary look to the Wigan side as they get themselves back in position behind.
Yeah, they
play the ball here.
They look deflated now, don't they? And this is where the hard work, this is where you want.
Offside Warrington.
And that's really the first penalty that they've given, isn't it? For a while now.
Well,
good discipline.
It will be one that will frustrate Tony Smith, because they're in a position to keep Wigan down there, but suddenly Wigan have been given a get-out card here and a chance to build their platform again inside the Warrington half. Here's Fielden, so much on his shoulders now. Offload to young Sam Tompkins, the will-o'-the-wisp.
Yeah, they've got to go forward now.
Hold! 2.
Luluai. O'Loughlin. Harrison Hansen in.
3. Move!
There's Luluai again. Coley, the man who collects and offloads. They're going to have to take the risk. That came off a Warrington player. It's another 6. Luluai threatens to thread himself through anyway. 6 tackles from here. Big chance for Wigan. Coley off from dummy half. Throws himself at the line. And he might just have always held it.
Oh, he's held up.
Held up.
Play the ball on it. Held up 1.
Well, it took some courageous Warrington defending to hold him up. His determination was absolute there, Andy Coley.
Well.
There are still 5 tackles to go here.
First.
It's an opportunity Wigan cannot afford to let slip. Fielden with the initial drive.
2.
4 tackles to come.
Move.
This is Luluai. Going right to Tompkins. Tompkins on again. It's not the best of passes. In fact, it's an awful pass. Miscommunication. Player A went down the route of player B, and C found himself on the touchline wondering what was going on. That's a big miss, but what about this? Andy Coley, that close.
Great
terrific defending on the line.
Richie Mathers. Fantastic effort.
Richie Mathers found out he was leaving Wigan for Warrington when he read it in the newspaper just before he went for an operation. Woke up from the operation and the chairman rang him up and said, yep, it was true, and maybe there were better ways of telling you. Tanya's on the touchline.
Warrington's Ben Harrison went off a little earlier. They've apparently strapped up his hip flexi. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but he's not ruling himself out of coming back on later on.
Hold, Stu. Hold.
6 to go in this first half. It's been a riotous first half as far as Warrington are concerned as well. Wigan up and running after 5 minutes with Phil Bailey's try and Richards' conversion and then a penalty. 8-0. It looked as though Wigan were going to assume command of the cup tie, but Matt King gets a try back, then Louis Anderson, and then Breers and Cooper following to the line. And suddenly it's looking much more like Warrington's ball game, but it is. Scrum down here, Warrington's knock on, so Wigan's head and feed.
There we are.
Well, the interchange so far today, 5 for Wigan, 3 for Warrington, and a warm day. That too is an important aspect of the game.
Well, now the changes were made because, you know, what was going on in the game. When you're on a roll, why make changes?
Knock on. It's all got very, very ragged for Wigan here. Perhaps is asking what's that been given for? What's that been given for? And asked the touch judge if he could come to his assistance, but
Okay,
clearly that he was knocking on. I'm not sure he did.
Out.
Well, the touch judge did very well to spot it if he did.
Move!
And Noble makes another note. And Warrington take another stride forward here through Louis Anderson.
If they score now, you know, it's just before half-time.
Yep. Rohihi, back to Monaghan. Louis Anderson. You were about to put your neck on the block there, weren't you?
Well, you know,
just pull back a little.
Yeah, a little bit. Anything, you know, if it's not a try, a point, a drop goal, just to deflate them a little bit more.
4.
Monaghan 10 yards out, assumes the role of little general at dummy half again, and off he skips and runs into that Wigan line, and back to Rohihi, who's lost it.
Great tackle, Coley.
20.
It's needed. Wigan supporters are looking fairly dejected at the moment.
First.
They know it's a long way back for their side. It's not lost yet. Oh, and that was
pushes. You nearly made him lose the ball.
A little push after the tackle was made, so another penalty for Wigan. Pat Richards not making any mistake with a kick to touch.
Hold.
And another huge set of 6 for Wigan as half-time looms.
Yeah.
Fielding.
First.
They score here, and hope becomes a little more tangible. But if they lose it like that, they are simply throwing it away, literally.
Knock on, no advantage.
2 knocks on. The first was Coley's. There's a bit of a bust-up here between King and Tompkins. Somebody should tell Sam Tompkins that he doesn't want to get involved there, because
he's quite feisty, young Tompkins, and I've noticed that they've been giving him a bit of sledging throughout the game, trying to get him. Maybe he's a type of character that getting riled up, certainly gets involved. Watch him, everyone's giving him a little dig. Frustration it is, goes in. It's a knock on anyway, goes in, makes the tackle, makes a nuisance of himself.
Right, don't let him give it there. Take the notice, what's going on?
There he is, look.
Out!
Sam Tompkins actually grew up as a Warrington supporter in his very early days. It's only when he signed for Wigan's youth and at the age of 13 that he switched allegiances.
Funny that.
There's a few players on either side with feet in either camp. Mathers is one of those.
Third!
2 minutes to go, just under, in this first half. Warrington looking to press home the advantage if they can. 1.5 minutes left to play. Monaghan runs away with a dummy, sweeps through, pops it up, here comes King. King, too much power, too much presence, brushes them all away, and Matt King, with his second try of the game, might just have made it a job too much for Wigan now. A 5th Warrington try, and Matt King is pushing his side ever closer to a Wembley appearance.
Well, the running from dummy half has been very, very good in the first half. Just watch, here he goes again, throws the dummy, Loughlin comes up too quick, great awareness, just too much pace for young Tompkins, and he scores. Watch him again, Monaghan. I think he's been magnificent in the first half. Just controlled the whole attacking play for Warrington Wolves, created space. King finishes. On the statistics, actually the runs from dummy half in the first half. Wigan 7, Warrington 15. They've absolutely destroyed them around the ruck, Warrington.
Well, when they signed them a couple of years ago, Monaghan and King, they were supposed to be the real X-factor signings, the two players who would help lift a club that had ingloriously underachieved for so long. They were the two who were going to help lift them to the big finals, the grand finals, the Challenge Cup finals. And 2 years on, Monaghan and King are doing just that. Hasn't always been a bed of roses for them at the Warrington club. Bridge puts it wide, but it is 28 points to 8 now that Warrington lead. It means that Wigan have to score 4 times and not concede again.
Just watch him, he goes early, and then Loughlin comes up out to the line. Great awareness again. There's too much pace.
And they haven't got time to restart the game. The question is, have Wigan got time to restart their semi-final, or have Warrington done enough in the opening 40 minutes to put themselves on the Wembley trail? Half-time, it's Wigan 8, Warrington 28.